So getting started with the ASA, Cisco ASA firewalls, Cisco firewall. This is what we cover in the first chapter: the user interface, the file management, the operating system, image, the software management, image management, how to upgrade, all the stuff, and then in case if I forget my password, how I'm going to recover it. We need to know how to recover it. So the way to recover the password and the security levels that we have in the firewall. So every interfaces are considered as a zone. So one zone will be prioritized than the other zone, or the priority level won't be same when we have multiple zones. So to provide the priority level, the trust level, we have security levels in ASA. So those things we'll be discussing, and then we'll also discuss on the basic firewall configuration. So any device, that doesn't matter whether it is a Cisco router or a switch or a ASA firewall, we need a console port. And through console port, we connect through a console cable and we do the basic configuration. We provide a management IP address, we enable telnet, we enable SSH, so that later we can use the management IP address, telnet from the remote, take the device remote and configure it. So we have a console port on ASA as we have in router, as we have in switch. We have a console port. We use this console cable. The console cable, this is how it looks. One end is D9 serial connection, another one is the registered jack 45. It looks like this. So it's a standard interface type we have in console. Use this one to do the basic configuration, and then after we do the basic configuration, we can get access to the CLI. Now before we get into the CLI commands and security steps, let's learn something on modes, different modes that we have in ASA. ASA has got four main modes, four main administrative modes. What are they? One is called as the monitor mode. Monitor mode prompt will look like this. To get this monitor mode, what we need to do is, as soon as you turn on the ASA, press break key until you see this, or press escape key until you see this. So that's what we called as power cycle. You just turn on the router, turn on the ASA, keep hitting this key, any one of this key, until you see this. Now why we need this monitor mode? This mode is to do the password recovery. Now if you want to recover the password that you've forgotten, if you want to change the password, if you want to recover your device, because you've forgotten the password, you cannot throw the device. So you need to somehow recover from the password loss. You need to recover. So to do the recovery, password recovery, we need to know how to go inside this mode. This is also called as roam on mode. In Cisco routers, we used to say it as roam on mode because it goes like that. Now, not only for the password recovery, in order to upgrade your operating system, if you want to update the operating system, or you want to upgrade from the lower version to the higher version, you need to know how to go to this mode. From this mode you can do that. You can upgrade to a new operating system, new version of operating system. That's what monitor mode. So how do you go there? By hitting the break key or the escape key. The next mode that we see is the unprivileged mode. This is also called as user mode, unprivileged mode or user mode, where you can do very minimal show commands, very basic verification you can do here. So it won't provide you much information from here. You will have a restricted view of the security appliance here, and in case if password is set, you will see this prompt only after the password given. So the username and password, if you set for the user mode comes before this. So this can be also called as user mode, unprivileged mode or user mode. How it looks like? It looks with the greater than symbol, your host name and the greater than symbol, and this is the default host name for Cisco ASA router, Cisco ASA. Any Cisco ASA, you take this the default name. So you need to provide a host name to identify every ASA with unique name. So that we will cover later, giving host name. Now we need to type enable command to go to the next mode called a privilege mode. To go to the privilege mode, we need to type enable in the unprivileged mode. In the unprivileged mode, you type enable to enable the privilege mode. It will ask for the password. By default, there is no password. You just hit enter. When you hit enter, you will be in a privilege mode. Now, what is the advantage of privilege mode? You will have complete access to the configuration that has been made already. Means you will see all the configuration done to the firewall. So you will have a privilege of seeing all the configuration, but you cannot do any configuration from here. In order to do any configuration, you need to go to the next mode called configuration mode. So the configuration mode, how you go? By typing configure terminal in this privilege mode. So type configure terminal to go to the privilege mode. Now, what are the other things that you can do in the privilege mode? You can say show run to see the entire configuration that has been done so far. You can save the configuration from the temporary memory to the permanent memory. You can delete the configuration from the permanent memory, and you can telnet, you can do SSH, you can ping, you can use all show commands here. Privilege mode, right? So if you are in a multi-context mode in ASA, which we'll be dealing with ASA multi-context later, you will be in this mode to switch to another multi-context and another virtual ASA. So there are various things that you can do from the privilege mode. As we go deeper, we'll see one by one. Now the next mode is the global configuration mode. So to go to the global configuration mode, we need to type config terminal. When you type config terminal, you will be inside the global configuration mode. So the privilege mode looks like this with a hash symbol. The unprivileged mode looks like this with a greater than symbol. Configuration mode will look like this. Now from this configuration mode, you can go to command specific modes. What does that mean? Command specific mode. Depending on the command that you specify. If you say interface gig 00, you will be inside that interface. If you say router OSPF, you will be inside the router OSPF. So we go like that. When you talk about the file management, we have two different type of memory location where our configurations are getting stored. So we have a flash memory, we have a RAM. This flash memory, we call it as startup configuration, and the RAM we call it as running configuration. This RAM is, as we say, random access memory. It's a temporary storage device. It's a volatile one. Flash memory is a permanent memory. So whenever we do the configuration, whenever you type some commands, they are temporarily saved in running configuration. They are saved temporarily in the running configuration. When the power is turned off, you lose everything. In order to have those informations for later use, we need to push those configuration to the flash memory, the startup configuration. So we have two configuration mode. One is running configuration mode, which is being controlled by RAM, which is temporary. Until you have the power, you have the information that you configure. If you want those configurations for future use, then you need to push it, you need to copy it from running configuration to the startup configuration, which means copying from RAM to the permanent memory flash. So this is the command to copy run start, or you can also say copy write to memory. Both does the same job, but the difference is this: when you type copy run start, it will ask you for confirmation. When you say write to memory, no confirmation, immediately it writes. So what does that startup configuration means? The startup configuration is the one which is acting like a backup configuration for all the running configurations. So for everything that you had in the temporary memory, this takes a backup and keeps it so that when you reboot you will not lose it. That's what startup configuration. During the startup time, it loads everything that you saved in the previous configuration time. Now when we talk about ASA images, every device have got an operating system. Our cell phone has got an operating system. Our laptop has got an operating system. Similarly, ASA has got an operating system. We call it as image. In Cisco, every operating system is image, not only on ASA, on Cisco router, on a Catalyst switch, on ASA router, on Nexus operating system. Everything is image based. It's a single file, image based. It's an operating system for the Cisco router. Now we got various versions in which this is more significant version, 8.x and 9.x. These two are the current versions, we can say 8.x, 8.x and 9.x. This is how the operating system file will look like, the file name will look like. This is how the file name looks like. We'll talk about the file names and versions later. But image means operating system. Image means it's the software version of ASA, software side of ASA. Now it will be in a compressed form. It's a binary file in a compressed form. It is residing in flash memory. So when we switch on the ASA, what happens is this binary file gets decompressed to the RAM, which is a temporary memory. To the RAM it gets decompressed. To the same RAM from flash, even your previous configuration from the start memory also gets loaded. So now when your ASA is ready, you will see your operating system along with your previous configuration. So that's how it works. Now this is how you can copy an image, copy an operating system from a remote server into ASA. These are the steps. How to copy a file to an ASA. How can I copy a file to an ASA? How can I copy an image to an ASA? Just 3 steps. Just 3 steps. All that you need is a server that runs TFTP. TFTP is a small server. It's a small application that you run on a server machine or any computer, on a laptop or a laptop. Inside the TFTP folder you keep this file, the image file that you want to upgrade. So ASR911-K8.bin is a file name which is there in your laptop inside the TFTP folder. So what I need to do is I need to go to ASA, and then I need to assign a management IP address. If you want to copy it through a management port, then you give a management IP address. Or if you want to copy it through an inside port, inside interface, give an IP address of this subnet 192.168.1.10. If 10 is the server address, then you give maybe 192.168.1.1 to your laptop. Sorry, 1.1 to your ASA interface, and then you use the command copy TFTP flash. When you hit this command, it will ask you, the IP address of the remote host. This will be the address of your TFTP server. When you hit enter, it will ask for the file name. This is the file name that is there inside your TFTP server, and then it is asking whether I can use the same file in the destination. In the destination means on the ASA. If you are okay with the same name, hit enter, and it's going to copy it from the remote. So first step, you need a TFTP server, and you need to reach the TFTP server either through the management port or through the inside port, inside interface port. Second is use the copy command, copy TFTP to flash, because you need to put the image in the flash. So before you put it into the flash, make sure your flash has got some space to accommodate this operating system. If there is a space, then you can do this, or delete some files, delete the old image, erase it completely, and then copy this. So from where you are doing this, you are doing from the privilege mode. You are not doing this from the monitor mode. You are not doing this from the mode that which we saw some time back. You are not doing this from the monitor mode. You can also do it from here, which we'll see later. Right now we are seeing the easy way of copying the operating system. You already have an operating system. You already have ASA up and running. And now you want to upgrade it. So you can do like this. Second step. After that, you need to tell ASA to boot from a new image. See, the previous step only copied it. You have copied the image from the remote server. Copying is not enough. You need to tell ASA to boot next time from the new image. So we go to the global mode and say boot system flash and the image that you copied, image name that you copied, write to memory, reload. When you reload, you will see your ASA have got new image in it. Any questions as of now? Right. Next is the password recovery step. So if you are logged out of ASA, you forgot your password. So how you are going to recover it? Very simple. Just turn off the ASA, switch it off, and switch it on. As soon as you switch it off and as soon as you switch on, press the escape button. Press the escape button. You will be in the roam on mode. No, there is a physical switch on the ASA. Turn off the physical switch and turn it on. That is what called as power cycle. Right, power cycling the device. Turn off the device and turn it on. As soon as you turn it on, you hit escape key or a break key. You will be end up in a roam on mode or monitor mode. Both are same. You will be in this mode. Now, from here, you need to type config registry. Now, when you type config registry, you will see the current registry value. It will show you the summary, and it will ask you, do you wish to change the configuration? Simply say no by this time, and then you type this command config reg 0x41. This is the one which will allow you to log into the ASA without a username or password. So type in this config reg and then the registry value and say boot. When you say boot, it will allow you to log into the ASA. Right, so we need to remember this number 0x41, very important. No? We need to remember this number 0x41. See, by default, if you see the previous page, it is 0x11. The last two numbers are 11. So in order to bypass the startup memory, or in order to make ASA to allow us inside without asking any username and password, we need to type in this command config reg 0x41 in the roam mode. And then after saying that, we need to say boot. When you say boot, it will start as a new ASA. It will open the operating system with no previous configuration. The ASA will boot as a new ASA, but as of now it looks like that all the configuration is gone. But the good news is it has just bypassed the startup memory, meaning your previous configuration along with your password has been ignored because you typed this command 0x41 registry value. Now your password is ignored, that's why you are inside, otherwise it won't allow you inside. Not only your password is ignored, anything that is configured in the past has been ignored as of now. I am telling you, it is just ignored, but it is there. It is still there inside ASA, but it won't be available for you in this particular level. So we need to go to the next level to have those configurations. So now you see, you are already inside. Now you can do copy startup configuration to running configuration. You know what it means. Give me all those old configurations that is there in the startup to the running. So it copies now from the flash to the running. Now you are already inside the ASA, so no more password will be asked. Now you got all the configuration, but the password is still unknown. So what you can do is you can change the password. You say enable password. This is the command to change the password. Enable password and give a new password. Strong password. It's a password. Okay, it can be anything. It can be your name. It can be your company name. It can be anything. So and then very, very important is this. You need to go back to the default registry value. You remember we were in 0x000011. Now we changed to 0x04 in the previous slide, 0x41. Now you need to go change back. So to change back, you no need to go to Roman mode. You can do it from the global mode itself. Write to memory. After write to memory, you reload. Now when you reload, it will ask you password, and that will be your new password. And when you get inside, you will see all the configurations. Now you are no more logged out. You know the new password and you are inside, and your ASA is now accessible. So these are the 8 steps that we need to remember to recover from the password, lost or forgotten password. Any questions, sir? Now about the security levels. ASA has got security levels for every interface or sub interface, every physical or logical sub interface. ASA has got a numerical value that to be assigned to the interface to define the trust level. How much you trust that interface, how much you trust the traffic coming on that interface. Say for example, the interface that is connected to internet, we don't trust at all. So we will give the security level of 0, totally untrusted. 0 means untrusted. So that's the trust level, 0. I don't trust, it's 0. If I give 100, I trust most. This is the traffic on the interface I trust the most. Meaning the interface that connects to the inside of our network is highly trusted because it's our own traffic. So we give 100 there. And if you want to have multiple trust levels, that you can use any number between 0 to 100 to provide the trust level or to provide the zone security level. So trust level is also called as zone security level or security zone level. So inside zone is always trusted than the outside. Inside zone is trusted than any other zone. So mostly we will give 100 for inside. So what Cisco has done is, when you provide a name to an interface as inside, it automatically assigns 100. So we need to assign names to the interface, and if the name happens to be INSID, yes, the one that is connecting to the private network, the one that is connecting to towards your organization, not towards the outside, towards us. We have a firewall on the edge of our enterprises, and we got an interface that is connecting towards us, towards our own device down. towards our Catalyst switch 65,000, towards our ASA router. Those are trusted interfaces. So we will provide a name on the interface as INSIDE, but it is not mandatory to have always INSIDE as a name. You can give any name and you can give security level 100, right? So security level is very important. Now, if you take an interface on a firewall, there are three main things that's supposed to go with an interface. One is the IP address. The other one is the name for an interface. The other one is the security level. So there are three things which are mandatory on an interface: IP address, the name, and then the security level. If one of this is missing, that interface will not be active. The interface won't come up until you have these three. If I forget to give an IP address, so obviously it cannot work. And assume I gave IP address, I gave no shutdown, but I forgot to give name. Even now, interface will not come up. I gave IP address. I have given no shutdown, but still the interface will not be actively forwarding any protocol. It will not be working for any protocol, meaning it will be inactive. So just giving IP address and no shutdown is not enough. You need another two things to be added to it. What is that? Name for the interface and then the security level.
So every interface needs to have a name?
Yes, every interface needs a name. Every interface.
Any name, or like let's say one name, like we can have one interface is the inside, one interface is the outside, and what others
Here, Rivesh. See, that inside outside also not necessary mandatory to be the same always, but usually people will give inside for the LAN facing interface and outside for the WAN facing interface. Usually people do that. Now if they have some servers like email server or something like that to share with outsider as well as with the insiders, then it will be in a DMZ zone, demilitarized zone. So we'll give a name as DMZ. Now these three are widely used names. Apart from this, if you want to have any other name for any more interfaces, what if I have fourth interface? Then I'll assign my name of my own. I'll see for what I'm using that interface. If I'm using that interface for some bunch of servers, then I'll give a name as server group. Name of the interface as server interface or server group interface. Or if it is for a particular application, the servers are meant for a particular application, something related to database, then I'll give the name for the interface as database interface or DB interface or DB. So your wish, you can assign any name, but if you assign a name as INSIDE inside, 100 will be given by ASA itself as a security level. You no need to assign 100. If you want to, you can do it, but it is already given. Anything other than INSIDE, anything, it can be DMZ, it can be outside, it can be server, it can be DB, anything you give, the security level by default will be 0, meaning untrusted interface. So you need to manually specify the security level there. If you want to give different trust level, you need to give manually like 50 or something like that. So security levels are good. Now rules for the security level. The primary rule for the security level is that the interface or zone with a higher security level can access the interface with the lower security level. So traffic from the inside can go to the outside interface. Traffic entering on the inside interface. What is inside interface? Highly trusted or low trusted? Highly trusted. So any traffic that is entering into the high trust zone or high trust interface can leave, can go out on the low trusted interface or the low security interface. The other way around will not work, meaning traffic entering the low security level cannot go to high security level. So on the other hand, the interface with the lower security level cannot access the interface on the higher security level. If you want to allow them, then you need to explicitly write an access list. You need to explicitly permit them by writing an access list. So if you will write an access list, then it can override the inspection. It can override that rule of security level. Any questions?
No, sir. Thank you. It's good.
Right.
Because we have had a lesson before, so I know a bit of it because you taught me this. We had a couple of lessons before.
Right. So security level 0 is the lowest security level, as we already discussed. Usually we used to provide 0 to the interface facing internet, and you don't need to even assign security level 0. When you assign any name, it can be outside, it can be any name, it's going to be 0 only. So this means that every device connected to the internet cannot have an access to the network behind the firewall. So who is behind the firewall? Our inside network, our DMZs, our servers, our private networks. So those cannot be accessed from outside. If you want to allow them to access, then you need to write what? Access list. So security level 1 to 99 can be given by us. So you can give any security level like 50 for DMZ zone, 99 for management zone, and database server zone maybe 75. You can provide these names for the interfaces, and you can have different security levels assigned to those interfaces. So security level 100, as I told you, it is meant for inside interface. It is meant for highly secure interface. If you will type a name as inside, it is going to give 100. Or if you want to give some other name like private network as a name, what will be the security level? Private network is the name that you are giving for an interface. What will be the security level?
Still 100
No, it will be 0. So anything other than inside you type as a name, it will be 0. But you prefer to give 100. Can you give? Yes, you can give. You can give. The command is the same thing, the heading security level 100. That's it. Now go under the interface, the private network facing interface, and say security level 100. So here you see in this diagram the inside zone security level. This is the inside zone. The security level is 100. It's an inside interface. It is connecting to the inside zone. And you got G02 connecting to DMZ zone, and the security level is 50. Right, security level is 50. We have assigned it as 50 manually. And there is another interface called G00 whose security level is 0. Now why do we have this? To understand how the traffic can flow. See, from inside, because it is 100, it can talk to DMZ. It can also talk to outside. DMZ, because it is 50, it can talk to outside, but it cannot talk to inside. DMZ, it can talk to outside, it cannot talk to inside. Outside cannot talk to anyone. It cannot talk to DMZ or it cannot talk to inside. So security level, this is how security level helps the traffic flow to be prevented from unauthorized side. So this is already done. Traffic from high level to higher security level to the lower security level, all the traffics are allowed. Traffic from lower security level to higher security level, all the traffics are dropped. What about the same security level? What if I have two interfaces with the same security level? Not allowed. Not allowed. Not allowed. Same security level not allowed. But you can provide this command. You can give this command globally. Same security traffic permit inter-interface. When you give this command, then the traffic will be allowed. So the command is what? If it is same security level, you need to type this command. Same security traffic, allow same security traffic, permit inter-interface. When you type in this command globally, only then the traffic from one interface to another interface that have got same security level will be allowed. Yep, on the global mode, correct. Because you are trying to allow between two different interfaces, so you cannot go under an interface and do this. It has to be done globally.
So if let's say it's like 0/1,
Security level, they will not pass the traffic. You need to give this command if you want to pass.
do you still have to write ACLs or they will just pass?
No, not necessary to write an ACL. Just give this command, they can able to ping. They will be pinging.
So they will pass any information.
Yeah, but this command is available only after ASA version, iOS version 7.2 and later. Means it's a very old version. No need to worry. Nowadays everyone has got 8.x.
What used to happen?
Before we were not having this flexibility. So we didn't give two interfaces with same security level. We gave different security level and we used ACL to allow the traffic to pass. Right, now let's see the basic firewall configuration. There are few steps, like around 6-7 steps of basic configuration we'll see here. First is, we need to protect our firewall. We cannot just simply allow anyone to access and configure our firewall. So we need to set the password. By default there is no password set. So we set the password by giving this command, enable password, and then the password. This is the first good practice, the basic firewall configuration. Next is enable the remote command line management. Enable the remote. What do I mean by this is, every time you cannot configure ASA through console. So if you want to configure it from the remote, what you need to do is you need to provide an IP for the management interface, and also you need to enable the SSH or telnet or HTTPS. If you see, we also have ASDM. Which is a graphical user interface to configure ASA. Then you need to enable HTTPS. What is widely used is SSH. SSH is more secure than telnet. So we need to enable SSH. We need to tell that if someone is SSH from the management interface, on the management interface, via the management interface, if this username and this password is matching, if this is done, then you allow them. So for that, you need to first of all enable SSH, generate an RSA key. RSA key is an encryption key. For encrypting the key, we use RSA, and it will generate a key and it will share between two parties and authenticate. No, things like that. It will generate hash, so on. So we need to enable SSH. In the process of enabling SSH, we'll also generate an RSA key with the usernames and all the stuff. Steps are coming here. This is how it is. So this is the explanation for this is the steps for the previous explanation. Create an username and the password. Username, Cisco admin, password, admin password, privilege level 15. Even if you don't give privilege level 15, it is going to be by default 15. Next means yeah, that's the highest, full access. Next is AAA authentication, SSH console local, meaning what? If someone wants to access the CLI, they need to get authenticated using the local database. What is the local database says? Local database says that username should be Cisco admin, password need to be this. If someone is typing this username and this password, authenticate him for SSH. That's the meaning of this line. Next is you need to generate a key, crypto key generate RSA. This is the size of the key. SSH version 2 you are enabling. It can be 512 also, then it will be version 1. When you say module 1024, then it is version 2, and which is highly recommended. I think that is also by default in today's version of Cisco ASA. Next is you need to say who all can SSH to this device. So SSH, who can SSH? Only the person who got this IP address, and the traffic need to come via inside interface. Sorry. Yeah, only that IP address can do SSH to this ASA, not anyone. Right, and also you can also say multiple addresses. See, from outside also, if you want to control, then you can provide an IP address. The name of the inside name, the name of the interface. The name of the interface. See, in your ASA, which is there on the edge, you have two interfaces. One is private facing interface, another one is public. So on the private facing interface, what you give the name? You might have given inside as a name. Then you give inside. If you would have given some other name, you type that some other name here.
So meaning only from inside interface, this IP address.
Yeah, exactly said. Exactly, well said. Only on the inside interface, traffic from SSH traffic from 10.1.1.1 is allowed. Then give another line. Or if you want to allow anyone coming from 10.1.1.0, you can do that. So anyone from 10.1.1 network can communicate. Here it is fully masked. So only this person. So if you change the mask, if you make it as 252, then 3 people can be allowed. 10.1.1.1, 10.1.1.2, 10.1.1.3. Right, so not only on inside, you can also allow people from outside to come in by giving this outside interface name. Any question? Right, next is you need to provide a host name for every firewall. By default, all firewalls will have Cisco ASA as a name, so there will be a confusion which firewall we are talking about. So to avoid that, we give a unique name to each device, like firewall 1, firewall 2, firewall 3. So you can easily say someone, hey, firewall 5 has got problem. Because you are given FW5, they know what you mean. If all the hosts have got the same name, then confusion. So we give a name, and this is how we give a name. Next is on the interface. These commands are mandatory. You need to provide an IP address, you need to provide a name for the interface, you need to set a security level, and then you need to say no shutdown. Right, so not even one can miss. We need to give all. So this is an example. See, on geek 0/1 interface, I have given a name, I have given an IP address, I have given the security level. And by default, if you give the very word inside as a name, it's going to give 100. But if you want to manually give, this is how you give. I gave outside as a name for this G0/0, so the default security level is 0. If you want to give manually, you can give it, but by default also it's 0. Routing. Routing is very important, but mostly we will try to avoid routing on the firewall for security reason. We will not run a common routing protocol between our autonomous system and the other autonomous system. But in case if there is a need for running an operating system, running a routing protocol, you can do it. Or we can write a static route or default route. So this is the syntax for a default route on an ASA.
So this means anything from anywhere?
No. Any unknown networks any unknown network, whatever the subnet mask may be, needs to approach this gateway address. This is the ISP's address. Needs to approach the ISP's address on this interface. What is the name of the interface? Outside. So here. Yeah. So now assume the packet is coming from outside now. I'm saying if you want to go to 192.168.2.0, see, it's a private network. Then it needs to go to the inside gateway, the private network gateway on the inside interface. So how to enable routing protocol? No, it's in the next chapter. We'll learn it later. So as of now, we are seeing that routing is supported, and you can have static route or default route, and this is how it goes. Right. So this is the end of our first chapter. If you would like to learn more on ASA, you can approach me for the complete set of videos or for the online classes. The fees for ASA, the complete set of videos that will be sent to you for download, will be $500 US. Thank you.